Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation. The presentation is about the introduction to environmental engineering. By the end of this presentation, you should be able to define environmental engineering, know the adverse environmental effects, know the significance of environmental engineering, identify the roles of environmental engineers, and to identify the main components of the environment. To understand environmental engineering better, we have to define some terms like natural science. Natural science studies the physical and the natural world. It includes diverse disciplines that includes biology, chemistry, geology, physics, including environmental science itself. Environmental science studies the interactions of the physical, chemical, biological components of the environment, together with its interactions and interrelationships with various organisms found in the environment. In other words, the environment will be having organisms in them. The organisms are the living things, the components will be the non-living things. Living things and non-living things must have a strong structure or interrelationship that will be creating balance. What is engineering? Engineering applies science and mathematics for a particular purpose. And this purpose is about transforming matter and energy into something that is useful. What is the environment? The environment, as defined by many authors, is simply our home. It is our surroundings. We also use the term environment for a particular place that needed a particular solution. It needed a specific solution to a certain problem that must be addressed. So, what is environmental engineering? Environmental engineering uses scientific processes so that the Earth's environment will be improved. And if we talk about the Earth's environment, this considers three main aspects, which is the land, water, and air. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, environmental engineering concerns protecting people. Environmental engineering protects people from adverse environmental effects. What are these adverse environmental effects? The first one is air pollution. Second, water pollution. Third will be soil pollution. Soil pollution summarizes all the waste that is placed into the soil, coming from erosion, probably from deforestation or human activities. It also may come from agriculture, household waste, mining, and the plastics that we throw into the soil. Acid rain is one environmental effect that is caused by the reaction of air pollutants to the atmosphere with water to form acid rain. And acid rain may have harmful effects to trees. Another environmental effect is the ozone layer depletion. As early as the 1980s, this had become a problem that we have to address in the world, wherein the Montreal Protocol was established and it banned ozone depleting substances. Most of these environmental effects will be discussed soon in this course. One of the greatest adverse environmental effects or global environmental issue the world is facing today has something to do about greenhouse effect. it has something to do with global warming and climate change. Many believe that no one country can solve this alone. Countries must become one, and we have to agree on an international law so that we could combat the greenhouse effect, global warming, or climate change. Who are the environmental engineers? Environmental engineers are the engineers at work, and they work for a particular purpose. Environmental engineers work to improve recycling. Recycling in a way that we try to see our waste, what will be useful and what will be converted into another product. Another is they work to improve waste disposal. In disposing waste, we have to consider segregation. Segregation in a way that we could recycle or improve other waste into useful products. Environmental engineers work to improve public health, to improve water quality. Environmental engineers also work to improve water pollution and control. A typical example is the wastewater treatment plant. Second is that concerns control is air pollution. Environmental engineers work to improve air pollution and control. An example is by the use of electrostatic precipitators that separates particulates from the air before they are released to the atmosphere. There are many more job or tasks the environmental engineers can do, and they contribute much into the development, the preservation, and the maintenance of the environment. What are the significance of environmental engineering? First is the preservation and the improvement of the environment. Again, if we say environment, this concerns more about the land, the air, and water. Significance of environmental engineering also concerns about health, human habitation, including the habitation of other organisms. Remediation of polluted sites. Polluted sites means that formerly in a certain place, it used to be, let's say, an area of disposing toxic waste. And this area, of course, will be having some adverse environmental effects. If we say remediation, this is actually like a solution. It is an operation or a process to bring back that polluted site into a cleaned up site so that it could be useful again. It could be a safe place to be used. Another significance of environmental engineering is creating the awareness about environmental problems among people. Today, we could see that many people are environmentally aware on environmental issues. And now they have also corresponding actions for that particular environmental issue. Environmental engineering also involves in the imparting of basic knowledge about the environment and its allied problems. Environmental engineering also develops an attitude of concern for the environment. Many people are concerned today. Just a little mistake that we do, especially in the social media that we have today, you could see lots of comments if one does not do the right thing for the environment. Motivating public to participate in environmental protection and improvement. Today, there are many organizations that are involved in an advocacy for a particular environmental issue. Environmental engineering also is involved in acquiring skills to help the concerned individuals in identifying and solving environmental problems. A certain environmental problem or an environmental issue has a corresponding solution. There is a proper way of solving a particular environmental issue. And these skills is one of the significance of environmental engineering. What will be the roles of environmental engineers? It does not mean that we have to finish a degree of environmental engineering so that we could perform the roles of environmental engineering. Whether you are a mechanical engineer, a mining engineer, or an electronics engineer, you still can do one of the roles of the environmental engineers. You still can be part of the advocacy of environmental engineering. And these are the main roles. Collaborate with environmental scientists, planners, hazardous waste technicians, engineers, and other specialists and experts in law and business to address environmental problems. Provide technical level support for environmental remediation and litigation projects, including remediation system design and determination of regulatory applicability. Inspect industrial and municipal facilities and programs in order to evaluate operational effectiveness and ensure compliance with environmental regulations. Assess the existing or potential environmental impact of land use projects on air, water, and land. Develop site-specific health and safety protocols such as spill contingency plans and methods for loading and transporting waste. Design systems, processes, and equipment for control, management, and remediation of water, air, and soil quality. Develop and present environmental compliance training or orientation sessions. Serve on teams conducting multimedia inspections at complex facilities, providing assistance with planning, quality assurance, safety inspection protocols, and sampling. Monitor progress of environmental improvement programs. Provide administrative support for projects by collecting data, providing project documentation, training staff, and performing other general administrative duties. To understand the environment better, one of the first things that we have to understand will be its components. And the main components of the environment will be the atmosphere, the hydrosphere, the lithosphere, and of course, the biosphere. The atmosphere is the protective blanket of gases which is surrounding the Earth. The planet is surrounded by many gases that has a particular purpose. The atmosphere protects the Earth from the hostile environment of outer space. It controls the temperature of the Earth. It acts as a source of carbon dioxide for plant photosynthesis and oxygen for respiration. It acts as a source for nitrogen-fixing bacteria and ammonia-producing plants. Nitrogen-fixing bacteria are found in the roots of some selected plants, of some plants whose specialty is to keep the nitrogen-fixing bacteria. These topics will soon be discussed in this course. The atmosphere transports water from the ocean to the land, and most of us are aware about this regarding the water cycle, which we will also be discussing soon in this course. The gases that comprise the Earth's atmosphere is dominated by nitrogen. and the green one will be oxygen, and the others are miscellaneous gases. You could see there that carbon dioxide is 0.03%. But today, because of lots of human activities and operations, the increase of carbon dioxide gases in the atmosphere is actually at a very high rate. And the layers of the atmosphere starting from the surface of the Earth, 12 kilometers from the surface of the Earth is the troposphere, and 12 to 50 kilometers from the surface of the Earth is the stratosphere, where the ozone layer is found, and 50 to 80 kilometers is the mesosphere, and the highest part is the thermosphere. It's 80 kilometers up from the surface of the Earth. What is this hydrosphere? Hydrosphere is a collective term given to all different forms of water, and these forms of water could be oceans, the seas, the rivers, lakes, streams, reservoirs, glaciers, and groundwaters. If we look at the distribution of the Earth's water supply, the red mark shows that generally the water in our planet is the water in the ocean and in the seas. Only 3% will be fresh water. And from the 3% fresh water, 2% will be ice caps in the form of glaciers. And today, the truth is, our glaciers are melting. 40% that 40% of this 2% ice caps is now water. And if we look at that 1% fresh water, how is this distributed in the consumption in our planet? Generally, 50% of that 1% of fresh water found in the world is being used by thermal power plant to generate electricity. The second is irrigation. Irrigation shares 30% from the utilization of fresh water. 13% will be for industrial purposes, and only 7% will be for domestic uses. That includes the water that we use every day in our different households. What is this lithosphere? The lithosphere is a term for the solid layer of the Earth. This is the outer boundary that forms a complex interface with the atmosphere and hydrosphere. For the layers of the Earth, we start on top. From the surface of the Earth is the crust. As we go down, it becomes the upper mantle, the lower mantle, the outer core, and then the inner core. As we go deeper, temperature increases. The biosphere. The biosphere, this will be the zones of the Earth where life is present. This is the realm of living organisms and their interactions with the environment. And the biosphere will be divided into different units called ecosystems. And ecosystems also will be classified according to different terms like the deserts, the Arctic tundra, the tropical rainforests, which we will be discussing also in this course. In other words, the biosphere is actually a combination of the interrelationships of the atmosphere, the hydrosphere, and the lithosphere. That ends our presentation. Visit Jukishan in Facebook for more of this lecture, and you could watch some videos related to our topic. See you in the next video.